Welcome to Nell Town Model Railway. I'm John. This is the place where we design and scratch build, kit build, and do lots of scenery. Before we leap into this new video, I ask you to cast your mind back to video 16, Scratch Building Deal Signal Box. As promised at the end of that video, I have taken some videos of me restructuring the landscape to fit the signal box, making good the landscape, and then adding basic scenery. As with all my scenery, I don't complete it in one go, but let it sit whilst I work in other areas to see if I'm happy. Then, if I am, I add more to it. And now we move on to the scenic break, the motorway. This is the area that I've chosen for the scenic break, which will be a motorway. And I'm going to loosely base it on the M4/M5 Spaghetti Junction in the UK. Underneath the motorway, I'm also going to add some additional features, which I've seen on Google Maps. From the photos I had grabbed from Google and also based on the drive down to London, I decided that I would opt for columns to support the motorway, and also that the motorway would have a slight curve. So here you can see again another test fit just to see how the motorway looks in the landscape that I've created and what other developments I might need to consider. Again from Google, I roughly estimated the distances between rows of supporting columns and decided that I'd have two sets of columns on the lower part of the layout and then a shorter set of columns on the higher part of the layout. Initially, I thought they would be towards the rear, but then I decided to bring them forward to be at the top edge of the raised bank. And I'm considering putting in a concrete type of land filling between the upper level and the lower level, and also the brickwork at the rear down towards the first high set of tracks. As you would see on the motorways, there is usually a paved or concreted area to prevent soil movement and the bridge collapse. You may remember in a previous video, I did say that I shied away from plaster cloth due to costs. However, on some occasions it is worthwhile using it, and I considered in this occasion it was worth it due to the fact that I was working on a slope, but also I wanted to ensure that the foam stayed in the right places, and the plaster cloth goes off and sets quicker than my homemade material that I use, the sculptor mode, for example. And I wanted to try and get a flatter surface at the top edge if possible, which the plastic cloth could give me, bearing in mind that I'm still considering putting in the concrete beds on the slopes to prevent soil movement and erosion. Once I had plaster clothed and it had dried and hardened, I then repainted the surface with that special colour truffle, but you know what I think it looks like, but it's a good base coat. You'll notice on the right hand side of the embankments I've cut back and squared off the foam, and my plan here is to have a road running from the back scene beneath the embankment, so to speak, and under the higher level railway lines, and turning left and running in front of what will become railway arches. And my intention is to have businesses operating out of there if there's sufficient space. That's very similar to various cities in the UK, London, Aberdeen, etc. Well, ideas change, and on looking at some other images of motorways in the UK, primarily the new M6 toll, there is a very nice looking pattern of concreting under the flyovers, so I thought I would copy this. So had to cut back what I'd already done, and I've inserted some 2mm MDF in order to take a soon to be laser cut tessellation pattern to be stuck on to the MDF. I think the tessellation pattern will bring added interests to what could be a rather boring image, but hopefully with the landscaping I do, that won't be the case. I think I should end this video here, as it seems to be a natural break. The next video hopefully will be making the flyover of the motorway, primarily the underside, and maybe move on to the roadbed itself on the top part. But we'll soon see. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and hit the bell icon for your notifications, and hopefully I'll get a new video out shortly. I hope you all had a great Christmas and wish you all a happy and prosperous new year for 2025.